For example, melting of the wax. What happens when we melt the wax? We do not get any new product. What we get is the wax, which we can get back. But in a chemical reaction, new substance is formed by the reaction of reactants. Reactants are the substances that combine together to form a new product. So a new product which is formed is different from the reactants. When such a thing happens, it is said to be a chemical reaction. For example, burning of paper. If I take the example of tearing of paper and burning of paper, I tear a paper, I get two pieces of paper. But if I burn a paper, I get ash, which is absolutely different from what the original reactant was, that is the paper. This change is said to be the chemical change. Another example is rusting of iron, which is commonly occurring everywhere. Rusting of iron is said to be a chemical change because the reactant, that is iron, in the presence of moisture and oxygen reacts to form iron oxide, which is said to be the rust. And once we remove the rust, we lose the metal. So a new substance is said to be formed. Now let us examine some of the characteristics of chemical reactions. The very first characteristic of a chemical reaction is the evolution of gas, that is effervescence, bubbling. A bubbling is a clear-cut characteristic of the reaction which is taking place, and that is said to be the chemical reaction. Let us demonstrate with the help of these chemicals. I have hydrochloric acid here and sodium carbonate. In a test tube, we are going to take a pinch of sodium carbonate like this, and with the help of the dropper, we are going to add a few drops of dilute hydrochloric acid. And friends, can you see the bubbles rising? I'll do it again for you. See the bubbles rising. This indicates, this effervescence indicates the occurrence of a chemical reaction. I once again repeat the reaction. Sodium carbonate reacted with dilute hydrochloric acid released the effervescence, and this effervescence is carbon dioxide gas. How to test whether this is a carbon dioxide or not? I hope everybody has heard about the calcium hydroxide, that is lime water. If you pass this carbon dioxide gas through lime water, that lime water turns milky, indicating that the gas that got released was the carbon dioxide gas. This is one characteristic of chemical reaction. The second characteristic of a chemical reaction is the formation of precipitate. What is a precipitate? A precipitate is an insoluble solid substance which is formed after reacting to reactants, and that settles at the base of the test tube. Let's do another experiment. I have sodium sulfate and I have barium chloride. I am going to put few drops of barium chloride in the test tube, followed by the sodium sulfate, and let's see what happens. My dear friends, you can clearly see that a precipitate is formed, and this precipitate indicates that a chemical reaction has taken place. Let us do these two experiments chemically with the help of chemical equations. In the first reaction, what we took was sodium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid reacting to form NaCl plus carbon dioxide gas. I repeat, sodium sodium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid react to form sodium chloride and carbon dioxide gas, which you saw as the effervescence. In the second reaction, we took barium chloride and we took sodium sulfate. When we do this reaction, barium reacts with sulfate and forms a precipitate plus formation of salt. This barium sulfate is the precipitate which you just saw. These are two very important characteristics of a chemical reaction. Though the chemical reaction has other characteristics as well, as in change in color, change in state and change in energy. That is, either the energy is released or it is taken from the environment. Exothermic reactions and endothermic reactions. Now we are going to study about the types of chemical reactions. And the first type of chemical reaction is the combination reactions. That is, any reactant A reacting with another reactant B to form a third type of product, which is AB. To demonstrate this, let me take you towards that